What is up, everyone? I am going to show you a quick tutorial on how to make your own portals. So basically teleporters to be able to get from one place to another. You can use these for all kinds of things, such as teleporting to a new area. So if you're making maybe an obby, you could essentially teleport people back if they fall, things like that. So this will be pretty useful, I think, for you on any project that you're doing. For those of you that you already know how to do this is not going to be a useful tutorial for you, but for those that are looking to get into Roblox development, this is a great place to start. So first things first, we're going to create our two portals. So essentially I'm going to create a little teleporter here. I'm going to anchor my part so that it doesn't have issues here, start moving around on me. So I'm actually going to make you know what? I'm gonna make a doorway with a little frame real quick. This is not how I typically do it, but I'm just gonna give you a quick and dirty version of this. Typically, what I would do is I'd use like the model sizing and moves and all that, so everything's uniform. But we're gonna go and make this white, and we're gonna make it a neon so that you know, okay, this is pretty much, if I enter this thing, I'm probably gonna end up somewhere else. And then I'm gonna create a little platform that's floating up in the sky, which obviously requires a teleporter to get to. Without a teleporter, we're not gonna get up here, right? And since I duplicated that, I don't need to anchor it again. So we're going to put this part up here, and then I'm going to actually create the part that it teleports to. So what you need to do is, with this method, we use a parts location. So we get the position of an invisible part. If you start hard coding XYZ positions, it gets really messy if you want to move things around. So say if I want to move this real easily, I don't ever have to update my code. I can just move this platform up and down and never have to update my code. So we're going to go ahead and change this part to be invisible, basically a transparent one, right? So I have that part selected, and it is now transparent. Now, I do want to make sure that this part can't be collided with, because that's going to be a little weird. And we also want to bring this down a little bit so that you're not constantly dropping through the floor or to the floor. So now that we have this little location here, I'm going to probably add a little unnecessary glow in here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and add a light source inside this part that's invisible, since it's already invisible. So we're going to go to Explorer, which I have hidden here off the screen, but I'm going to bring it in. And I'm going to call this, what do we want to call this? Let's see, destination. So how about like upper spawn, right? So that way we know we're going to be looking for this object called upper spawn. And I'm also going to add just a little light real quick to it, a little point light. And within that point light, we're going to bump up the range and brightness. So that way you can kind of see that down here that we have a destination to go to. We'll make it say blue or something, just for kicks. Okay, so now this is where we're going to put our script, right? Because we already have our location. You don't need to script anything for that. But we do need to create a script for the actual portal. So I'm going to name this portal. All these parts are basically the frame. So we can just group that and call that frame. And then we can just say this is a door. So we're going to group this as a door, just so things are a little bit more tidy. So we're going to go ahead and put a script inside portal. So you can just press this little button here and select script. And that is a server script. That is not a local script. Local scripts will not work in the workspace. So you make sure that doesn't say local script. A local script looks like this with a little character on it. You don't want that. You want a regular script. So within the script, you can go ahead and get rid of the hello world here. And first things first, we need to put a location. Actually, we need to reference the actual door that we're doing, right? So the portal. So what we can say is local portal equals script.parent. And what this is saying is I've declared a variable for an object which is basically this script. So this is almost like saying this, whatever we're in right now, which is a script, and then dot parent. So that's basically saying what's the parent of this? What am I inside of? Whatever I'm inside of, I want to reference. And we are inside of a door portal, basically this thing. We're inside of this thing, right? So that's what that script's gonna apply to. If you already know scripting, you can kind of your eyes are gonna glaze over. But essentially what we want here is to make sure we get the parent, and then now we're going to create a reference to the destination, basically the teleportation destination. And what we're gonna call that is just POS for position. And we're gonna go to workspace, and then we're gonna go find first child. And then we're going to reference, what was our name again? Upper spawn. So just copy and paste that into there. So that's our upper spawn. So basically that's gonna be our position. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to create a function for handling our touch. So basically there's gonna be a touch event for portal. So we're gonna go and create a new function called untouched hit. And then inside here, we are going to reference the essentially the portal part that is the object that is being hitting. So whatever is touched is going to be the object that within here that's going to be passed through. So if a brick or a part touched this thing and collided with this portal, then that would be the thing that got hit. So in our case, it would be the humanoid. But Roblox doesn't know it's a humanoid, and on top of that, we have major issues the way humanoids were set up, essentially, or at least characters were set up, because characters are made up of a bunch of parts. Imagine all of those parts hitting this. So we have to be very, very careful when we do this, and I'll show you what we need to do to handle those situations. But in this case, let's go ahead and say this is called object hit equals hit.parent. So basically the whole object. And then on top of that, we're going to do a check against a humanoid. And then we're gonna say object hit, find first child, which is a humanoid. So we wanna make sure we only find the humanoid object. We don't wanna be messing with anything else other than a humanoid, because obviously there's the left arm, right arm, all that kind of stuff. We don't want any of that. Now we're gonna check to make sure it's a humanoid. Is it a humanoid? If it is, actually we could even just do this. Then we're gonna do some stuff, which is our portal code. And then we need to add a little event here that basically connects the portal to a touched event. And we're gonna connect that to untouched. So now let's get rid of that for a touch event. And when we connect with that, then we're gonna send it through here. Your object's gonna pass through here. And then we know that it's a humanoid. So now we can do some stuff now that we know it's a humanoid. Now I could basically just say, let's go and do the teleportation right away. But we don't really want to do that, because say I went in here and I entered this, right? There's a situation where timing wise, because the script is going to be triggered so many times, you want to put a little delay in there, right? And the way to delay it is to create a debounce. Basically, you're telling it, hey, I already captured this event, right? I've already captured this event. I need a little bit of time to process that event, so don't keep throwing me new events. So that's what a debounce is doing. So now that we have basically the event listener for touching the portal, we're going to go ahead and create a new function. It's going to be for teleporting, so essentially it's going to just be called teleport. And then we're going to say this is going to be the humanoid that comes through. Okay, now that we got that sorted, we're going to go ahead and create essentially a reference to a player that we're going to use for the debounce table. Let's go ahead and do player equals game.players. Basically get player from character, and then this is the object that got hit. So let's go ahead and do object hit. And then next we're going to do a for loop to check against the debounce table that I haven't instantiated yet, but I'm going to do that in a sec. So basically pairs debounce. We're going to go and do, and obviously it hasn't been instantiated yet because I need to put it up here. So if you don't know much about tables, you may need to do a separate tutorial, but it's like arrays. If you're familiar with arrays, you'll be familiar with tables. Basically, this is just an empty table here. And what we're going to do is we're going to loop through this and check to see if any of these items inside the table are a match for our current player. So does V, which is the current value, match our player? If it does, then it found a player, right? Then we're going to return out of this. So that way it bounces them out. So what it means is, hey, yeah, you're a humanoid, but you're already inside our table. And so let's just exit out of this process. And you can try hitting the teleporter again. But chances are, if you already hit it once, then you're going to be teleported successfully. So now we're going to make sure we do insert, because we know the player is not in that table yet. So we're going to go and add them to the table. Then we're going to do our teleport with the humanoid that we have up here. So we know it's a humanoid. And then we're going to go ahead and put a weight and remove them from the table we just added. So basically you can just copy and paste this. Be careful with copy pasta. I do it all the time. But right here, we're going to do the same check. We're going to loop through the same table, so you can go and copy that. And we're going to do, if we found the player, then we're going to go ahead and remove them. So we're going to remove them, and we know that our table name is debounce, and we're going to go ahead and say it's the current I, so basically the current index. Remove that. And we should be good, but here's the thing. In order to be able to test this, we should do basically a print first. We teleported. Okay. And now you can go ahead and run this. And we got text here. It says we teleported. Okay, so that's good. Now we can go ahead and proceed with the actual teleportation. So now what we do is we already know what our part, we already know this is a humanoid, right? So we don't need to do anything for that again. But we do need to know if this character or this humanoid has a humanoid root part, because that's what we're going to use to change the player's location. So let's go and do HRP for humanoid root part, and we're going to say it's a humanoid, and we're going to say parent, and we're going to basically, within that player object, we're going to go ahead and wait for child, which is a humanoid root part. If that doesn't exist, then we can't really do anything, and it'll just error. But that will exist in this case, because it is a humanoid, unless you've got like some weird situation where you have a humanoid without a humanoid root part, then things are really, really looking weird. And then we're going to go ahead and do a reference to the position, basically, of the current part, right? We already have a reference for the upper spawn, but we need that information again to store it somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and say new location equals cframe.new, and we're going to take the position of the X, and then we're going to do that for the YZ. So just go ahead and copy that a couple times, just get rid of that last comma. And then we're going to do basically XY. So then we're going to do the XY and then the Z. So now we have the new location. And then we're going to go ahead now and change the C frame position to match new location. And now we should have a teleporter that works. So we go and test it, make sure it works good. And there you have it. You just relocated to the top of this awesome looking platform that should have some money for me, but it doesn't. And now we can go ahead and make an exit if we'd like. So if we want to make an exit, we just copy the code. That's what's great about this. So let's say we want to make an exit and move it up here. So that we have a way to get down. Or maybe we want to get to another platform. Why don't we do that? What if we wanted to get to another platform up here? Maybe you're doing some cool kind of bobby. So what you do is you're going to call this upper spawn, maybe call this upper 2 spawn. And now you got a second spawn. Let's change the color of it. Now you go to the green zone basically. And what we're going to do here is just make sure, okay, we got the new spawn location, right? It's invisible still. Upper 2 spawn is our new name. And this portal right here is going to go ahead and be changed to say upper 2 spawn. That's the new location of this one. That's all you got to change. And then now that we're here, say we already portaled through here, you can just go to upper 2 spawn. Dink. It's easy as that. So now you've got a reusable script for all of your teleporters. And I look forward to seeing what you all come up with your games. And if you are working on a game, I'd love to hear about it. Definitely promote your game inside these tutorials anytime you'd like. I'd love to check them out, especially if you apply any of our tutorial tips in these videos to your game. I really, really would love to hear about it. And again, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you all next time. Take it easy.
I wish to be